Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of whatever I'm calling this series. And today we are going to do heroes and villains for a power ranking. I go through, put them what I feel is the correct category, try to organize them by who's strongest of that category, and then go back through and make sure it's right, followed up by you in the comments section letting me know why I'm wrong, what you'd adjust, how you'd change it. And here's the thing, I really go back and listen, and I'm willing to change things. And that brings me to my last video, where I definitely made a couple mistakes. I forgot just how extreme Kaladin's healing factor really is, and how he shares that healing factor with someone who has a similar power set to him, and he absolutely should have been bumped up to the top of the overpowered ranking. That was my bad. And on top of that, absolutely should have ranked Gandalf and put him in the god tier. I forgot about the feat where his peer Saruman was killed only happened after he was depowered. So for that, for sure, he should have been in the god level. But moving on from there, we're going to go ahead and jump into this episode of let's have people fight, and it's all fun and games, and just see where people end up. It's going to be a good time. And I've included some more outside-the-box picks here. Not only am I going with villains, I'm also going with kind of more mainstream, more fun, to put them up against the more niche fantasy characters we love to see how they compare. I'm going to be a little bit biased towards the fantasy characters, I'm not going to lie, but I have fun doing it, and let's go ahead and jump into this. I also pulled someone from one of the oldest fantasy stories ever told, Beowulf. One of the oldest fantasy stories ever told that's still in, popular culture. And Beowulf was interesting to research for this. I looked into his feats, his skill sets, and there's a bit of a disjointedness between him just being this regular guy, but he has these feats that are absolutely insane, like cutting a dragon in half, or killing a giant and swimming with its head for a while. So I'm going to leave him in powerful, and it'll be interesting seeing how he stacks up against the rest. Next up, I wanted to go ahead and throw a Jedi into the mix, and I went with one of my favorites, Mace Windu, because it's Mace freaking Windu, and I wanted to see where they would fall. They're certainly not normal. I would say they're above your standard powerful. Jedi, for me, fall into the overpowered. If you look into a lot of the things they accomplish, especially in things like the Clone Wars, Jedi have some pretty ludicrous feats, and Mace Windu himself defeated Darth Sidious. That's canon. George Lucas himself has said that was not an intentional defeat by Sidious. Mace Windu just beat his ass. And so if Mace Windu's powerful enough to do that, I'm going to put him in the overpowered. But I'm not sure how well he's going to stack up as we continue on here throughout the overpowered. Next up, we have Gollum. I don't think a lot of people will be mad at me throwing him in the weak. Then we have Lyra from His Dark Materials. Why did I throw a child into a bunch of fights? Because I'm weird. Lyra to me is weak, especially because in this world, demons seem to be almost an additional weakness on top of themselves, especially because we don't really see Pan take on larger animals. He's not turning into like bears very often. Essentially, if you could get your hands on Lyra's demon, you could kill both of them if you're able to kill it quickly. We see Smeagol breaking bunnies' necks and things, so I'm going to go ahead and say that he would take that fight, and especially since she's just a child. Moving on, we have the Witch King from Lord of the Rings. A very good combatant. I would say into the overpowered, but I think Mace Windu would take him down. This is one of those characters from Tolkien where we're told a lot of really crazy stuff, but there's not a ton of feats to back them up, and I'm really based off a feat person. I'm sure a Tolkien head's going to let me know from some obscure text just how powerful this guy is and how he is actually god level and should be there, but for me, Mace Windu basically has killed armies of people on his own and taken down Darth Sidious, so I'm going to put him above the Witch King here. Now we have Sal from Seven Blades in Black. Definitely could take down Beowulf, but I wouldn't say that she is in the overpowered category. Now we have one that I think some people are going to be upset that I put in here, but I got to include my thick purple boy here, Thanos. Now, this is not Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. I want to make that clear. I decided for this with the actual scene I'm going to lift him out of and plop him in would be an interesting take, would be having him right when he's got his sword and his armor and he's waiting for Iron Man. He doesn't have his Infinity Gauntlet, but he's definitely peak Thanos himself for this fight. So he's got his little double-handed sword thingy, and he's ready to go. I think he could definitely take down both these guys. We see this dude tank blows from Thor's hammer, Iron Man going all out. His durability is off the charts. Well, his offense is actually not that stellar. It's just his durability is bonkers. So I'm going to put him at the top of the overpowered. Now, Next up, we have the Wicked Witch of the West. A lot of people are probably going to tell me, oh, this needs to be in powerful, she's a witch. But when your weakness is moisture, I can't, no. If I spit on you and it's like gonna do damage, I'm not putting you in powerful. I'm putting you in normal, and you're lucky I don't put her in weak. Moisture takes her down. No thank you, sir. I'm not about that. Now, for this next fight, I'm actually going to describe the scenario. So the last video, the scenario was starting in a gladiator ring. I think it's like 50 feet apart. For this one, let's do something a bit different because I think it makes it more dynamic and fun. For all these fights, we're doing in a giant abandoned mansion is where they start, which makes this pretty interesting, especially with some of the bigger boys down the road. But so far, it doesn't change in the fights I think we've stacked up here. But Animander Rake. I spoiled quite a bit of Malazan for myself for this video, digging into Animander Rake's respect thread on Reddit. I wanted to see just how powerful this guy is, and I think he currently, from what we have stacked up here, is the most strong of the overpowered. He has insane feats. Not only the ability to turn himself into a mother freaking gigantic flying dragon beast, which is insane on its own, but he can move faster than eyesight. His output and defense is pretty crazy. He's got good healing to him, loads of magic. For me, Animander Rake right now is going in the top, the king of the overpowered. Next up, we have Arya Stark. I'm going to put her just the higher end of normal here. I don't think a lot of people are going to have a problem with that. Definitely would be taken down by someone like Beowulf or Sal, but I'm pretty sure she could kill, especially in this situation where her stealth is going to be quite handy. She could take down the Wicked Witch of the West. Matt Cawthon. A lot of people in the last video wanted Matt Cawthon, and one of these kept saying, gotta bring him in. So Matt Cawthon for me is going to go into powerful. In the last combat where we talked about a gladiator arena, he would actually have a harder time because there's less random factors. Being in a house, Matt can have his luck come into play a bit more. I kind of want to put him into overpowered because of how ludicrous his luck is. That being said, see, the Witch King the whole thing with the Witch King, he's like, no man can kill me, and I'm sure he's badass, and there's stuff I'm not quite remembering. I should have looked into him too before I started this. But for Matt, I'm going to go ahead and say he could probably take down the Witch King. He has like a holy item that hurts evil creatures. He's got absurd luck. If there's a way to kill this thing, Matt will stumble his way into it. But that being said, no, he couldn't take down Mace Windu. He couldn't take down someone like Thanos or Animander Rake. He's right there, and I'm fine leaving him there. Kylar Stern. He is in his home turf, being in a dark, abandoned, creepy mansion for this fight. Very good for him. Definitely in powerful. I'm actually going to put him above Beowulf. Am I going to put him above Sal? Yeah, he gets pretty... This wet boy gets pretty wet. You know what I'm saying? This wet boy gets pretty wet. So I'm going to put him in powerful. For top of powerful for now. Don't think that'll stay there, though. Oh, could Sal take him down? Sal could maybe take him down. That's a good one. No, because it's a stealth situation. Kylar's one stealthy man. So I'm going to give him that. Now we have Smaug. Smaug is not in the god level. He is taken down by mortal weapons, and he's not that crazy on defense. But he definitely could take down Thanos. Could he take down Animander Rake in his dragon form? Probably. Like, Smaug's a big, bad dragon. But Rake's magic, man. Some of the stuff I was reading, god damn. But dragons have magic immunities in Tolkien. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put Smaug at the top of the overpowered here. He's a gigantic, humongous, badass dragon that was taken down by a 1 in a million shot. I don't think he'd be able to do this. Next up, we have Kelsier. Kelsier, ooh, that's a good one. Definitely kill all these powerful guys. He's definitely in the overpowered for me here. I think Kelsier is too overwhelming even for Matt's luck. Matt's luck couldn't compensate. Could he take down a Jedi, though? Jedi have such bonkers strength and speed feats, especially if you look into like the Samurai Jack animated Clone Wars stuff for Mace Windu. But that's not considered canon anymore, so I shouldn't consider that. I was going to consider stuff for Mace Windu we know. I think Kelsier takes him down. I think Kelsier could take him down. It'd be a long, hard... No. I'm going to put him right there. People are going to be mad at me about this one. But I think Jedi are underpowered a lot online. I think we need to appreciate what they do a bit more here. Now, this is Gavin Guile. I couldn't find like a close-up picture of Gavin, so we're going with this cover here. Gavin, for me, is going to go overpowered as well. Again, I don't think Matt's luck can compensate. Don't get me wrong, Matt's luck is absolutely insane, but we have seen it fail him before when it's just overwhelming odds. And yeah, for here, I don't think he'd be able to compensate for the really absurd levels of output that people like Kelsier and Gavin Guile have. Now, between Gavin Guile and Kelsier, that's tricky. I think I'm going to give it to Gavin just because he is such a bonkers level of output and he doesn't have the limitations Kelsier does. He can just go and go and go. And while Kelsier is a really hard, fast hitter, when it comes to a longer fight, I think Gavin has a couple more impressive feats. And his magic is just so diverse. I mean, drafting is such an interesting set of magic to bring into something like this that I'm going to go ahead and give that to him there. Next up, we have Link. Now, Link, I will just offhandedly was like, I should do a little bit of research for Link because I've only played a few of the games. And the feats that Link has, wow, he's stronger than I thought he would be. Originally, if you had just asked me, I'd have been like, maybe he's like high normal, low powerful. Now I think he's low overpowered. Link is crazy. But if you take away all the equipment that let him do a lot of that stuff, he begins to fall down a little bit, but not by a whole lot. I would say with his standard equipment, he is definitely upper tier powerful, and he is able to tank damage. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and say that he is the upper tier of powerful for right now. Actually, I probably could take down the Witch King of Agamemnon. Maybe, do I have him too high? I feel like I might. Maybe. No, let me leave Link here for now. Okay, I just went and refreshed myself on the Witch King of Agamemnon. A lot there is really impressive. Master sorcery, fear manipulation, things like this. Is it enough to overcome Matt's luck? I don't think so. I think I have him properly ranked right here. And especially the people up here could deal with him no problem. Weapon immunity is I'm going to call BS on that power. I know I shouldn't have the ability to do that, but no. I'm going to go ahead and say Link probably falls like right around there. And actually, if you read his bio, he sounds like a villain Link would go up against. So I'm going to say Link could probably take him, but that's where Link stops. Matt's luck is stupid at times, and I think would let him actually take down our little Linky boy here. Would it? I don't know. These three right here are actually really confusing and hard to do because their weapons and their power are so distinct. I think Matt's magical weapons would be enough to take down the Witch King. I'm not going to reverse that. It's just Link I'm not sure about. He also has magic with him. I think I'm going to put Link kind of just floating in here and let you guys have it out in the comments because I really don't know. Moradin from the Wheel of Time is the first person I'm going to put in God level. Wheel of Time channelers, especially the ones in the level of Moradin who just are bonkers, they go to that level. He can just throw you into the dream world directly if you want to do. Like, there's stuff there that I'm not messing with. Randall Flagg. I surprisingly have demoted him in my mind. After some recent things I've read, without getting into spoilers, I'm actually bringing him down in power a little bit. I think someone like Beowulf could take him down. I don't know. Like, I think I'm just going to leave him there because his stuff seems to be almost entirely like psychological, and there's very little physical feats we have to go off him with. So I think he could take down Messi Williams Arya Stark, but I'm not going to put him. I'm not going to put him any higher than that. Now we have Rayla. Here's the thing. I need to come at like with a medium filter because this becomes a little tricky here. Rayla, if you look at the show, is doing some insane athletic stuff. Running from tree to tree, flipping off them, falling from great heights and being fine. But then she'll like turn around and struggle with like a human fighter for a little bit. And I'm like, why are you struggling with this person when you show me how dexterous and fast you are? What's going on? So I need to say, where's the balance? I think I'm going to put her right about here, taking down Beowulf and not bring her any higher than that. Well, no, Beowulf's feats, to me, like there's a disjointedness between his feats and what he's like is. So I don't know. I think I'm going to leave her right around. She would struggle with Beowulf and it would be a good fight, but I think Beowulf would probably take her down. Shawan. I like having Shawan in this one. She is not on the level of a lot of these guys. So she has that bonkers healing factor, but it is have a limit. It can reach a point where she can no longer heal. It's a very high point though. She also has a shard blade, which you do not want to mess with. which is a crazy good weapon. She has very little experience with it, though, and is not a high-end fighter. I don't think she could kill the Witch King of Agamemnon, honestly. And in this situation where stealth people can get the jump on her, I think they'd be able to land a hit. They might underestimate her healing, and then she could get up, and it's a fight. But even then, even with her crazy powerful blade, could she take down people on this level? That's a difficult question, because it comes down to luck. How much can she, just with her minimal training and this thing that's essentially more powerful than a lightsaber, really land here? I think she could take down someone like Randall Flagg or even Rayla, if I'm being honest, because her healing factor just provides her with that. Beowulf, yeah, he's too cocky. He'd probably just get killed and just taken down. Sal, this is where it starts to struggle for me. I think people are going to think I'm undervaluing Shawan, but I am someone who really values battle experience and actual combat mastery. And Shawan not having that, I'm just going to leave her unpowerful. Yes, she heals really, really well, but at a certain point, it can only do so much. And if you're just incapacitated and someone can just brutalize you, that's a loss. Next up, I'm excited about this one. Artemis is an enemy of Drizzt Do'Urden, Drizzt Do'Urden, however you want me to say it, from the Forgotten Realms. And he's someone who basically devotes a very large portion of his life to trying to kill Drizzt, however you want me to say it. And he's pretty good at attempting it, not very good at succeeding, but that means he's a powerful dude. And to be able to keep up with someone like Drizzt, he's not normal. He's enhanced and trained himself to the absolute peak of what a human can be, and then beyond with some of the equipment and things he has. Definitely could take down someone like Rayla. I think he could take down someone like Beowulf. Probably, he'd be able to take down someone like Shallan. I think he'd be able to take down Sal, and I think he'd take down Kylar. This is someone who's on Drizzt's level, and we actually don't have the most powerful people powerful right now. And I think he'd be right there. Dealing with someone who's a sorcerer, someone who's like the Witch King, I don't think he'd be able to deal with it, but that's about right where he's going to go. Now, I'm going to have a controversial opinion here. I value firebenders as more powerful than they are even presented in their own show. Because people are throwing fire around and getting fire like really close to them in Avatar and not getting burned. Like it acts like you have to be touched by fire to be burned by a massive fireball, when in reality, that's not how fire works. You just need to be close enough to a massive fireball and you can get third-degree burns. That's science, that's physics, and I can't ignore that for this. So unless you're going to tell me that the fire that firebenders wield is not as hot as real fire, which when we see it applied does do things that are hot as real fire, I need to compensate for this like disconnect here. And okay, for one, I think Zuko is much more powerful than anyone in normal. I think with his output and special mastery of fire bending later on, could easily take out a lot of these guys. And actually being confined in a building with him, like this mansion we're talking about, is not a good thing for you, because he can burn it down. and man, I actually think he'd be able to do a lot of damage here. Zuko is powerful. More powerful than I think a lot of people are going to give him credit for. Now, someone on Artemis's level, this becomes tricky. I don't think Zuko could take down Drizzt. I don't think he could take down Artemis. I think he's right around here with like Kylar Stern, and that's about where I'm going to leave him for now. I think this is probably going to be the most hotly contested list yet. There are some controversial things here that I'm only believing because of respect threads I read on Reddit that made me go, hot damn, these people are more powerful than I thought. But there's so many things here that are subjective to like debate and talk about, especially like Matt's luck. Oh, that's a real wiffle waffler, right? Like that's not a objective, hard, this is how it will go in the fight thing. It's odds manipulation. So you could just pull it one way or the other. I will say the fact that someone snuck up behind Matt and almost stabbed him in the back, and he casually tossed his spear over his shoulder at the right moment to knock the guy unconscious. The odds of that tell me Matt's luck is very powerful. The guy, it's hard to deal with him. You need someone who's so overwhelmingly more powerful, it becomes almost ludicrous that Matt would be able to beat them. That's around like the Kelsier Link level. When it comes to someone who's like the Lich King of it's not Agamemnon, it's Agamar or something like that. Agmar, it's a Tolkien name. Give me a break. That's again a bit harder. Man, so many of these are so soft going up against each other. Let me know where you think I'm wrong and right, because as I showed at the beginning of this video, I'm going to be correcting them with each new episode, and I'm curious to see what people have to say. This is going to be a spicy comment section. Don't get mad. We're all having fun here. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Let me know which characters you'd like to see included next time in the comments down below. And actually, I will try and post a link to be able to do this exact bracket in the Discord server. So if you'd like to, you can fill it out yourself as well. Have a good one, y'all. Peace. And of course, I want to give a special shout out to my latest high tier Patreon, Aaron Kirkwood. Thank you so much for the support, man. I hope you're having a wonderful week. And I hope you all shoot me a message on Patreon. Why don't more of my Patreons message me? Talk to me. How's your life going?